Hi again, everybody. Welcome inside Front Wave Arena. Great to have you here for the Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon. It is the semifinals, and it's Chihuahua and Milwaukee, the 1 seed and the 5 seed. Chihuahua advancing Friday night in a close-fought, hard-fought victory over the St. Louis Ambush. Meanwhile, Milwaukee advancing last night with a victory over the Kansas City Comets. So it's Chihuahua and Milwaukee. We are set for a good one, Philly.
I can't wait. To quote rock and roll legend Alice Cooper in the movie Wayne's World, Milwaukee means the good land. And that's exactly where the Wave are trying to get back to, the good land, in the hopes of bringing their city the 8th championship since the franchise was founded in 1984. But the Chihuahua Savage are a tough team. Their 4th season in the league, 4th straight semifinal, back-to-back champions. They are an electric team. Neither team is going to make it easy for one another. But to quote the great wrestler Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Whoa!
All right, and for the Chihuahua Savage, so many weapons are up and down their roster, but it's one player who wears number 9 who always seems to come through.
They call him Hugo Puentes La Roca, which in English off Spanish means the rock. This man is a walking, running, tall can of Red Bull. He has wings, and he likes to fly. All the emphasis on Jorge Rios, but Hugo Puentes is deadly.
We sung the praises of Alex Sanchez for the Milwaukee Wave, a young player who has burst on the scene, but it is a veteran with the Wave who really made things hum yesterday against the Comets.
IB26, Ian Bennett on the Mount Rushmore of the MASL. No big deal, only 500-plus points, 400-plus goals, and he had 4 goals in last night's game. This man might have been born in 1983, but at the rate he's going to play until he is 83. IB26 is electric.
We've got a good one set up here in this first semifinal. Stay tuned. We've got Chihuahua and Milwaukee coming up in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon on MASL TV.
1, 2.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.
And we are just moments away from the semifinal round of the Ron Newman Cup playoffs, featuring the number 1 seeded Chihuahua Savage and the 5th seeded Milwaukee Wave. Great to have you here wherever you might be watching, alongside Christian, Philly, Philemon. I am Nick Vassos. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us here. Let's welcome in the 3rd member of our broadcast crew. Amanda the Panda Philemon has more on this important matchup. Amanda?
When two teams like Chihuahua and Milwaukee get together, it's going to come down to the little things that are going to decide this match. For today, the big difference could be the rest for both teams. Now, as the MASL Shield winners, Chihuahua got to play their match on Friday, meaning they're coming into today's semifinal with 44 hours of rest. Now, the Milwaukee Wave, they did not finish their 11-7 victory over Kansas City until last night at 10:05, meaning they are coming into today's match with 16 hours of rest only. Now, the Milwaukee Wave are riding some momentum, but we need to know, is the mind going to be willing, but the legs are going to be weak, or are they going to be able to rise to the occasion physically for all 60 minutes? I can't wait to find out, guys. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks a lot, Amanda. The Milwaukee Wave defeating the Kansas City Comets yesterday by a final score of 11-7. Philly, let's talk a little bit more about this Milwaukee Wave team.
Yeah, as a team coming in with a 14-8-2 record, 42 points in the regular season, 5th place. Alex Sanchez obviously has been the talisman in his 3rd year in the Major Arena Soccer League, putting up MVP points. He's been dynamite. Willie B, William the Wall, William Wallace, William Bonahany has been one of the outstanding keepers in this league all season long, and the Milwaukee Wave are going to need him. You already alluded to the fact that the Wave are here courtesy of a win against Kansas City. I bring up Willie B for a couple of reasons. In the earlier meeting that both teams had on January 28th, that was a game that was won by the Chihuahua Savage in overtime. 7-6 game-winning goal by Gallegos. But the interesting stat that sticks out to me, Chihuahua had 58 shots.
Whoa.
Willie B made 23 saves, and he's going to be a stake for the Savage because I probably see and anticipate that they're going to pepper him all day long.
All right, we'll see what happens here in Milwaukee. Again, Amanda talking about the lack of rest at the Wave just 16 hours after their victory last night over Kansas City. So rest and recovery minimal. The Savage, on the other hand, have had over 24 hours of recovery time. They are the 2-time defending champion. And here's some information here about the Savage, Philly.
24-0, 58 points for a first-place finish. They are led by Jorge Rios. His nickname is Pareja. You want to talk about MVP numbers? This man should be the MVP. In between their sticks, their pipes, whatever you want to call them, is the goalkeeping tandem of Diego Reynoso, who normally starts the game, which he will today, and Cristian Hernandez, 2 electrifying keepers. They got here by courtesy of a 5-1 win against St. Louis. This is their 4th season in this league. This is their 4th straight semifinal. They are back-to-back champions, and this is the first year where they've won the Shield for the best record during the regular season. They are your odds-on favorite to win the Cup, unless Milwaukee has something to say about that.
Yeah, interesting how they are using Diego Reynoso and Christian Hernandez, both of them in games. Let's give you the starting lineups first for the Chihuahua Savage. In goal, it will be Diego Reynoso. The 2 defenders, Escalante and Romero. 2 midfielders will be Jorge Rios and Brian Macias, and the forward, Hugo Puentes. Now for the Milwaukee Wave, in goal, it will be Willie B starting in goal. Chihuahua will have the ball first. Mario Alvarez, Tony Walls, Alex Sanchez, Ian Bennett, and Frank Tayu will be the starters for Milwaukee. And we are underway in Game 1 of this semifinal series in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. Here is a steal, and Puentes fires a shot right off the bat. That one wide to the left. Macias gets it back to Puentes. Another shot, and Willie B makes the save. That shot coming off of the foot of Romero.
Jaime Alejandro Romero, you had Hugo Puentes, you had Jorge Rios, all swarming around Willie B. Like they were in an ocean and he was bleeding and they were a bunch of sharks, but Willie B came out on top.
Frank Tayu with some space here, looking for Alex Sanchez racing down the right side, and Chihuahua clears the zone.
You bring up a really good point, Panda did, about the rest versus rust scenario. Ian Bennett, Frank Tayu, Willie B, Max Ferdinand. These are players that I hope were living in an ice bath last night because they are less than 24 hours from having played. The Chihuahua Savage, I didn't see them in the arena, Nick. I don't know if they went to Legoland, which is right down the road from where we are, but they looked relaxed and comfortable during their warm-ups, and they seem to be threading some passes very nicely already.
It's very possible that some Milwaukee players were on the training table until the wee hours this morning getting treatment, trying to get ready for this semifinal game today. So little sleep here for the Wave, but they are out there on the blue turf of Front Wave Arena and battling Chihuahua, and a foul called on Max Ferdinand.
It's good to see Willie B back up and running. He took a shot accidentally from Stefan
yes.
Mijatovic in last night's game.
Papa Hernandez sort of rolled over the top of that one. Willie B's got it in his mitts, and he lays it off to Sean Esqueda. The Squid, as they like to call him, and, well, one of those tentacles knocked it out of bounds, and the first mistake there for Milwaukee. It'll give a top-of-the-arc restart to Chihuahua. Just underway here at Front Wave. 13-12 left to play in this opening quarter.
I can't believe we're in the Final Four. Between all four teams, we got, 35 championships. 2 for the Savage here, 7 for the Wave, obviously 16 Sockers, 10 Blast.
Oh, there's a shot and a goal. It is Roberto Escalante with an excelente left-footed shot. Chihuahua 1, Milwaukee nothing.
I might have made this comment the other day, but I'm going to regurgitate it. You're going to have to call the Department of Homeland Security for that one, because Escalante somehow smuggled a missile into the United States. What a shot.
Wow.
Fired it off of the set piece. Bopet Hernandez connects with him. He's got that left leg, and if that was a pitch, we'd call that one the pulverizer.
So Escalante, the goal, and the assist goes to Papa Hernandez. 1-0. Chihuahua.
Escalante, he was the MVP in the MASL Finals last season against the Kansas City Comets, picking up right where he left off. He loves getting into the playoffs. He is such a fun player to watch.
Friday night, Chihuahua didn't get their first goal until the third quarter. Remember, we were scoreless between St. Louis and Chihuahua on Friday night. That seems like a long time ago, but Chihuahua off on the right foot here in game 1.
And it was courtesy of that man. Well, no, actually not that man. Number 9, Hugo Puentes, was the one that really broke through. Number 14 on the Chihuahua Savage is Jose Gilberto Lopez, but Puentes was in the right place at the right time, taking a funny bounce off the wall. Nascimento fumbled it, and that was the catalyst for them going on their run.
Chihuahua trying to clear the zone. Taking it back, here's Castaneda, crossing over, shot, and a goal! Miguel Angel Diaz gives Chihuahua an early 2-0 lead, Philly.
Such an unselfish play. I thought Castaneda was going to go for the attempt on his own. We take a look at that replay. He had it, but he found his teammate right to the right of him, Miguel Angel Diaz, the initials M-A-D, MAD, and that's exactly what the Milwaukee Wave are, going down 2-0, barely 3 minutes into the ball game.
So not the start that the Wave were looking for. It is 2-0. You don't want to get too far behind this Chihuahua team that can score goals in bunches. Here is Rios. Back to Romero. On to the far side to Macias. Milwaukee knocks it away. Hoffman plays it forward to Correa. Correa into the corner with Medrano. Played it back to Ian Bennett. Bennett from downtown. Ding-dong rebound. Score! IB 26 is at it again. It is 2-1.
Doing the IB 26 shuffle, his 5th goal in 2 days. Unbelievable. The shot bounces. He ricochets it. Let's take a look at that. He launched it practically from Ontario, Canada, where he's from. It took a funky little bounce, an indoor soccer-esque goal, but Ian Bennett made that happen. And what a quick answer. Cutting into this lead, it is now 2-1.
Ian Bennett with his 5th playoff goal to lead all players so far in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs this year.
He likes to utilize the motto, bless up, and bless up is exactly what happened.
Chihuahua knocking it out of bounds, giving it right back to Milwaukee. 11:40 to play in this opening quarter. Our officials this afternoon, Kyle Trimble is the crew chief. 15th year in the MASL in his 28th playoff game. Elvis Osmanovic is the referee. He is in his 7th MASL season, and this, his 2nd playoff game. 2 veteran referees, as well as Joe Salinas. He is the assistant referee this afternoon.
I'm going to give a shout out to all the Wave fans that are hanging out at the watch party at the Doghouse Beer Garden in Franklin, Wisconsin. Hopefully y'all are out there in full effect, having a good time. Your Wave, making some waves here.
Romero looking for Macias in the corner. Now the Wave jumps in to dig it out. Stuart Grable is in there along with Javier Steinwasser. And now Tony Walls will lift it back to Chihuahua territory. Both teams go for wholesale changes.
Steinwashers, both brothers, Javi and Alex, had really good games against Kansas City the other night.
Yes.
They were a big part of that dub.
Boy, Escalante sent a low missile in there, and on the short hop, Tony Walls sent that one up into the netting. It'll be a corner kick for Chihuahua, but Tony Walls helping out his keeper right there.
And Willie B's going to need all the help he can get. Like I said, he faced 50-plus shots in their last encounter, making 23 saves.
Escalante feeds the corner for Puentes. Correction, that's Moises Gonzalez. Away from the goal, back to Escalante, right back to Moises. Marked by Escueta. Here's Escalante, changes the point of attack and goes to the right side, and then right back to Roberto Escalante. Kind of pops one up into the air, took a funny hop off the carpet, and then in the corner is Leal. Leal away from the goal to Escalante, fakes a shot, sends it out to the right to Hernandez. Popper chips it forward for Moises Gonzalez. Breno Oliveira is there, and Gonzalez goes down, holding his left knee. Let's see if he's able to get up here. He's up on his feet here, so he will not have to come out of the game. That rule change this year, I think, has been one of the most effective rule changes that they've made in the MASL. If a player stays on the ground for more than, 30 seconds, I believe, he has to come out of the game. Meanwhile, Leal and Derek Huffman get tangled up, and a foul called on Huff the Stuff.
Oh, Huff the Stuff's already fired up. He's the kind of player that plays with his heart on his sleeves, and he's wearing it right there. If he could come in with some of that firepower, it's going to be bad news for the Savage.
Long ball played into the middle. Valle couldn't catch up with it. Off the boards, and Escueta lifts it up to the half line. Headed back towards Wave territory, picked up by Hernandez. Popper, couple of touches, forward, a soul roll. Moving to his right, marked by Alex Steinwasher. Breno Oliveira goes down on the carpet to kick it away, held in by Chihuahua, who will make some changes. Chihuahua will hold it while fresh legs are out on the blue turf. Forward along the far touchline, played into the middle. Looking for Ruiz. Ferdinand kicks it away. 2-1 Chihuahua. Chihuahua striking early in this one. If you're just joining us, out to a 2-0 lead before Ian Bennett with a quick answer. 2-1. That's where we stand now. 9:11 to play in this opening quarter.
And yeah, foul called on Arturo Valle moments ago for the push-off. No question about the foul. And it's been hard for the Wave to get out of their back end of the field. They needed to get bailed out by a whistle because Chihuahua's not making it easy on the Wave.
Here's Bonahene. Plays it up to Carvalho. A good settle there by Carvalho. Goes off the boards looking for someone to run into that space. Nobody there. And now a battle for it, and last minute Romero clears it. Castaneda's now got a touch on it. Sends it back to Romero from Tijuana, Mexico on the near side. Castaneda now has it. Here he comes down the left side, off the left window. It comes off to Medrano. Medrano will back up into the center circle, accept the pass, move it left side for Castaneda. Castaneda into the box. Here's a shot. Just missed it. That was nearly a wide open shot by Diaz. And that one wide left. Castaneda draws a crowd. Here comes some more help. Ball squirts free to Romero.
Just a tough team to break through.
Chihuahua 20-4 during the regular season.
It's a much quicker and more physical matchup early on than their most recent encounter against the St. Louis Ambush, which is just this past Friday.
Here's Escalante with another drive. He is dangerous from downtown, and we have our first timeout. 7:48 to play in this opening quarter. Our first semifinal matchup between the top seed Chihuahua Savage and the 5th seed Milwaukee Wave. This is the Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon on MASL TV.
MITRE is the official game ball supplier of the Major Arena Soccer League. Established in 1817, MITRE is one of the leading soccer brands worldwide and produces some of the best soccer balls in the world. Learn more at mitre.com.
A long ball into the last third of Chihuahua. Reynoso, all he could do was come off his line and knock it out of bounds. As a result, it'll give Milwaukee a chance here at the top of the arc.
You got both Frank and Ian lining up on that left side. That's a dangerous spot. Nobody there on the right, though.
Here's Carvalho with the shot, trying to sneak it in lower right. Another shot, and that one had to be saved by Reynoso.
Carvalho was a bit deceptive as he found some space. What a game he had the other night. Other shot taken by Mario Alvarez. Diego Reynoso down for a little bit. That's a man with a huge championship pedigree. A lot of experience. Tex is his nickname.
His career and playoff record is nothing short of spectacular. It's amazing. We'll get some numbers to explain and provide you some context. Meanwhile, Sanchez down the left side shoots. That one blocked by Escalante of the Savage. Puentes able to get around Asqueta. Puentes down the right side. Will he cut it back? No. Asqueta able to stick a boot in there and block that shot. It bounces over to Ian Bennett, then back to Puentes. Now Rios runs up on that one, and Asqueta blocks it again.
Well, to quote you, he got his tentacles all over that one. I think we've already tired that one out. Third time I think we've referred to Asqueta on tentacles. At least between yesterday and the other day.
That's right. Just under 7. And here's Escalante. He'll roll one in there, and that one off of Moises Gonzalez. And yes, it's off of Gonzalez. So say the referees. Kyle Trimble making the official call. Ball was up into the stands, and fan nice enough to.
You look at Moises Gonzalez's career and like where it's taken him from, just all over the country, coming most recently from Tacoma. Moises Gonzalez has been everywhere. Was it a surprise to you that he ended up as a member of the Savage? Yeah, we talk about Alex Sanchez. Just what a player. MVP numbers, third season in the league. Went from 9 goals last season to 27 this year. Only 23. This young man, the future of the MASL.
Here's a restart, top of the arc. Rios driving one in there, deflected and off the left post. Willie B able to clear it away, and they shepherd that one all the way back to Reynoso. Yeah, they talk about the third year as being the, I don't want to say magic year, but the year that things begin to click for a professional indoor player. It takes a couple of years to learn the game, know the angles, being able to anticipate the game, and being able to play freely out there. And boy, Alex Sanchez has got it this year. This is his third year, and he has exploded on the scene, probably garnering some votes for most valuable player from Jorge Rios, who is the likely most valuable player. Rios plays for the Chihuahua Savage, wears number 16.
48 points for Sanchez. He had 11 last season.
Gotcha.
What a turnaround.
Yep. Milwaukee kicks it into Chihuahua's end. Giving chase is Alex Steinwasser and Cesar Correa. Now Max Ferdinand's got it. Longtime veteran winning championships with the Wave as well as the Baltimore Blast over his brilliant career.
Brilliant career. He was a Rookie of the Year in the MISL.
Yes, he was. Alex Steinwasser all the way back to Max. Max says, hold up, everybody. Let's get some players out on the field. Taiyu comes back out. Alex Sanchez now with the ball. We were just talking about him. His pass is kicked back to the Wave end. Oliveira back there to retrieve it. Sends it near side to Correa. Correa, instead of shooting it up the right side, will play it to Tony Walls. Now Sanchez in front of his own bench.
Tony Wall's an interesting career. One of those MASL players that was able to play not only indoor but outdoor over at St. Louis FC, Pittsburgh Riverhounds, Chattanooga Red Wolves. Made a fine career for himself, indoor and outdoor.
Yep, from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. He's in his 11th season.
Also a member of the Chicago Fire in 2012.
Taiyu picks up the loose ball. Here comes Frank. He shoots it off the boards. Rebound to Brito. Olivero. Brito, bravo. We are level at 2.
Bravissimo Breno. He was frustrated and flustered last night, missed a couple of sitters, but he wasn't going to be denied right there. Diego Reynoso may be an outstanding keeper, but his legs aren't long enough to make that kick save. We could call that a Wallace score to a certain extent. Never mind, Breno did have the touch, but quick answer, quick goal, 2-2, 4 goals in the first quarter. Told you this was going to be an exciting game, and it's not letting us down.
CHIHUAHUA had 1 goal and 1 assist in the game last night against Kansas City. He picks up another helper, this time sending it to Breno, who scores his first playoff game this year.
Breno, career highs this season. He's maturing into his own as a player in the MASL.
Ian Bennett chasing the ball into the right wing corner, and Reynoso, another mistake. Kicks it out of bounds for the second time. This will be another restart at the top of the arc for Milwaukee. Here comes Frank. Here comes Alex. And Ian Bennett remains out there as well.
Frank wearing that number 70 due to his brother Uzi Tayu. We referenced it last night.
Uzi's fine.
Uzi's fine, yes.
Oh, an absolute rocket. Rattles the glass from Carvalho.
I mean, that came out there with a sense of violence from Carvalho.
Near side to Alvarez. Super Mario down into the corner to Frank. Frank looking for the Wallace scorer once again. Kicked away by Chihuahua. Alvarez picks up the loose ball, changed the point of attack. Ian Bennett. Milwaukee will reset. Carvalho's going to go off, and Cesar Correa comes on. Reynoso bangs it off the boards. Gets it to a teammate. Here comes the Savage. Castaneda leads the break. Castaneda over to Puentes. And then Puentes cannot find the right angle. Willie B picks up the change.
Just too much spacing. Castaneda had Puentes, but just gave him too far of an advancing pass. And as talented as La Roca is, there's no way he would have been able to make that play with the spacing he had.
Escueta, a long ball into the corner to Huffman. Huffman goes Wallace scorer, and Reynoso scrambles off his line to pick it up.
Reynoso, a 2-time MASL champ, winning with Savage last year, back in 2015 with the Monterey Flash. It's a man who's appeared in 6 Ron Newman Cup finals. If there's anybody that has experience winning and getting to the finals, it's him.
Diaz to Puentes, and Puentes cannot find the target. Ball still pinballing around in the left wing corner. Sanchez is there along with Rios. And Rios comes away with the ball, plays it to the center circle. It is Macias.
It's the second time we saw Puentes with a nice shot. He must have something for that C3 insurance sign, because his shots have gone right there and not close to Willie B.
Missed left 3 times so far in this contest. Macias and Tony Walls digging in the boards. Tony Walls comes away with it, able to get it to Huffman.
Oh, that was blue-collar work right there. Taking credit with his lunch pail. That was not easy for what Tony Walls had to deal with.
Well, you're right, Philly. It's going to be those types of plays that don't show up on the score sheet that may decide the difference in this game. Here is Puentes to Rios. We are level at 2. 2.5 to play in the opening quarter. To the top of the arc. And it rolls through. Milwaukee picks it up. Escueta accepts the pass in the midfield. Gets it over to Javi Steinwasser in front of his own bench. And the Wave will cycle up their offense. Get some changes on the floor. Some high pressure from Chihuahua. Off the boards on up to Frank. CHIHUAHUA lost the handle on that one. Escalante over to Macias and then back to Escalante. The fine defender from Chihuahua back to Macias. And then up the far touchline to Moises Gonzalez. Here's Romero. Sidesteps one defender. Forward to Papa Hernandez. Inside the Milwaukee yellow line. Popper moving to his left. He'll shoot. Blocked out of bounds off of Ferdinand. And with 1:42, it'll be another restart coming up for Chihuahua.
Has some left to right action for Pope Hernandez, but great defense by Ferdinand denying the advancement.
Ruiz and Escalante behind the ball. Ruiz flicks it back to Escalante off the glass. Into the right wing corner. Cleared away by Milwaukee. Held in. Shot! Goal! Top shelf where Grandma keeps the cookies. just out of reach from the stretched out arms of Willie B, and the Savage retake the lead.
Well, do they have mighty macadamia nuts in her cookie jar, Nick? Because that was a mighty powerful shot. Willie B did get his hands on it, but that was the answer to 2 unanswered goals from the Milwaukee Wave, and now we're sitting here 3-2. Chihuahua Savage up with 1:36 remaining in the first.
Jorge Leon from Tijuana, Mexico in his second season bags the goal and gives the Savage a 1-goal lead. 90 seconds to play in this opening frame.
He's a player who's gone back and forth between the main club and Chihuahua Savage too. He's become an outstanding player for this M1 side.
Willie B rolls it out to Stuart Grable. Grable in his 9th season. He has been a mainstay on the Milwaukee side for many, many years and a productive defender from Neenah, Wisconsin.
Now, over 170 games played in his career. Product of UW Green Bay and FC Milwaukee. He's seen some stuff in his tenure in this league.
IB 26, back to Max Ferdinand. Now Ian Bennett, also the team captain. Back to Ferdinand. Milwaukee carefully plotting their attack. We are under a minute to go, 30 seconds to go, in fact. Willie B, a pass across the half line. Quickly up to shot and a save. That was off the foot of Lopez. Now Ruiz trying to get the rebound. Milwaukee gathers it up, 16 seconds. Can the Wave do something here? Chihuahua scrambling back defensively. Near side Carvalho. Carvalho away from the goal to Walls. 5 seconds left. A drive from Correa is kicked long, and that'll do it for our first quarter action. And we've got a good one in this first semifinal. At the end of one, it is Chihuahua 3 and the Milwaukee Wave 2. This is the Ron Newman Cup playoffs, presented by Verizon on MASL TV.
Not really big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the first episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
Across the nation, MASL players are giving back, utilizing their professional power to touch and inspire people in their local communities nationwide. Free soccer clinics, where kids can meet their heroes and learn new skills. After-school programs and special events. And surprise visits to the classroom. Visiting brave kids in the hospital, bringing joy and hope. Supporting special needs care, partnering with local businesses, and so much more. MASL, passion on the field, purpose off the field, committed to community.
So much that we can say about the Chihuahua Savage. They really are a top-notch franchise. Their 4th straight appearance in the MASL semifinals. Back-to-back Ron Newman Cup champs. They won the Shield for the best record in the league for the first time this season. And yes, Jorge Rios is a big part of that. So many goals, so many assists. But the differences between him and a player like Alex Sanchez is Rios only played 7 games last season. The Savage still won.
Yeah.
You take him out, they're still a threat. With Alex Sanchez, on the other hand, you remove him from Milwaukee, and you're looking at a completely different team. So for whatever that's worth as far as the MVP race, sure, the proof is in the pudding. I love Jorge Rios. Pareja, I tell him that all the time I see him. But Sanchez, in his third season, makes a very strong case in his own regard.
The Savage have 13 players who have scored double digits to give you an idea about just how deep this Chihuahua team is. Here's Javier Steinwasser with a drive. That one blocked by Miguel Diaz.
And that's going to leave a mark because Miguel Angel Diaz really took a fireball, if you will, to the back.
He's got a new miter tattoo on his body.
I got it for free.
Sanchez. Off the glass. Up top, Breno. No. Romero plays it long, looking for Puentes. Puentes, will he slot it to the right? No, he'll go for glory. Willie B makes the save and then kicked out of bounds.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Willie B made the block, and then Ferdinand denying another opportunity because that was one of those uh-oh moments if you're a fan of the Milwaukee Wave, but the defense came through.
Puentes had Castaneda to the right but opted to shoot it himself. Restart in the left wing corner. Back down to Escalante, who bangs it off the boards. And Milwaukee trying to come out on the counter. Here's Javi Steinwasser, and he gets tripped up. No call. Both teams play on. Steinwasser back up on his feet and picked up by Breno Oliveira. The Wave set up their offense with 13:53 to play until halftime.
Excellent defense by Moises Gonzalez, denying Steinwasser of that run on the right side.
Oliveira, marked by Gonzalez. Wall pass forward to Huffman. Huffman turns and fires. Not a lot of pace on that one. Reynoso. Easy save from his vantage point. Up and throwing, and the left-hander sends it forward, looking to find his teammate, but the Wave take it right back, and they bang it to Willie B.
Not only do they take it back, they nearly took out a referee.
Long pass for Alvarez. Alvarez deep in the corner. He leaves it for Steinwasser, and then Alvarez tried to flick it on. And here comes Macias. Brian Macias, full flaps. He'll stop right on the half line and play it back to Lopez.
Such an outstanding player, Brian Macias. Nicknamed Flaquito. That means skinny in Spanish. And very underrated player, but he has been such a talent throughout his tenure in the indoor game.
Here come the Wave with 12:42 to play until halftime. Alex Steinwasser up to Max Ferdinand. Ferdinand rolls it into the corner for Carvalho. Marked by Escalante. Away from the goal, back to Alex Sanchez. One touch, thought about it. He'll back it up and try again. Moving to his right. That one deflects off of Chihuahua into the twine. And once again, level at 3.
Were we just talking about him a moment ago? The 23-year-old takes it on his own, fires it. It does take an unfortunate deflection off the Chihuahua Savage, but what a shot. That's as indoor of a goal as you can possibly get, and huge answer. We're tied at 3.
Wow, what an amazing start here for the Milwaukee Wave and the Chihuahua Savage. Great game, almost as exciting as the game that we had between Kansas City and Milwaukee last night. Just goal after goal. One team scores and the other answers. It's a fun one so far here at Front Wave Arena.
Alex Sanchez, Chi-Town's finest out of Chicago, played collegiately at Roosevelt University in Chicago. That's in the NAIA. God, what a season he's having. He's also having a strong postseason as well.
Puentes into the corner looking for Ruiz. And Ruiz whistled for the foul, shoving down Cesar Correa. Willie B able to get it out to Frank Tayu. Tayu to Correa. Near side Sanchez. Sanchez Waving off a teammate. Now he'll launch one from beyond the yellow line. That one into the netting, and Reynoso will have it on the distribution.
Pace starting to slow down a little bit. It was rather frenetic within the first quarter. Both teams really settling into the game right now.
Reynoso plays it long, and Tony Walls got bent into a funny kind of position and didn't want to do it, but headed it out of bounds. So turnover to Chihuahua, and the Savage will restart it near the half line. Back underway, and it's Papa Hernandez on the far side. Forward it comes to Puentes. Hugo to Romero, and then right back to Hugo. Puentes will go off. Moises Gonzalez will come in for him. Meanwhile, Romero, couple of touches forward, looking for the Wallace scorer. Rolls through the box. Frank Taiyu trying to shield away to the defender. Now everybody digging in on the far boards. Taiyu still there. Taiyu goes down. Walls digs in. Shot blocked by Tony. Rebound comes to Sanchez. Alex across the half line. Game tied at 3. First half. Long way to go here. 10:30 to play. Javi Steinwasser. The winner here will advance to the Ron Newman Cup Finals.
Milwaukee would love to get back there. 7 championships in their historic franchise's run. The longest running professional soccer team in the United States, if I'm not mistaken.
Walla scorer attempt cleared away by Chihuahua. Their last title coming in 2019 against the Monterey Flash, winning at home at Panther Arena in 2019.
And what an epic game that was.
How about Milwaukee's record against Monterey? I mean, I'm not saying overall, but boy, last year they knock out the Kings of Monterey after a 24-0 season. Here's Leal trying to get number 2. Rebound shot blocked by Esqueda. Rebound comes over to Hoffman. Now touchback, Macias with a try. Ding dong off the post.
It's one thing to hear that call on TV, another to hear it live and in person.
Now Macias, he'll try it again. That one wide right. Huffman with a couple of touches, clears the zone. Esqueda, well, that carpet monster got Squid. And then Squid called for the foul.
What a thing to put on your bingo card. A carpet monster and Squid all within one succession.
And then Elvis enters the picture and has a conversation with Esqueda.
This is great.
Chihuahua on the yellow line. Castaneda battling Ferdinand. And a foul called on Max. Max has a few words. Restart coming up here for Chihuahua.
Max, as we mentioned, a veteran, played with the Blast, played with the Ambush, here with the Wave, out of Reading, Pennsylvania.
Escalante, one touch to the corner, into the box for Castaneda. He couldn't put a boot on it. He gets the ball back. He'll shoot that one wide right.
I just went off the wrong angle of his noggin.
Breno Oliveira, he gets shoved down and a foul called, and that's going to go against Leal.
Oliveira, quick to get back up. He did take quite a nice knock, I would say. And he has some choice words for Castaneda.
Yes, he did. I don't think he was inviting him to lunch or anything like that.
Certainly not to the Doghouse Beer Garden where they're having the Wave watch party.
Correa gets pinned up against the boards. Castaneda's back with it. His shot wide to the left.
Aiming for Calafino.
Fuentes, he loses the handle. Ian Bennett darts inside. He had it knocked away. Macias with a touch back to the center circle. And Escalante, last year's most valuable player in the Ron Newman Cup Finals, all the way back to Diego Reynoso. Reynoso to Rios. And Rios backs it out.
Rios has been relatively quiet in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Fuentes trying to get it back to Rios, and Waves knocked it away. Now another loose ball. Bennett goes down and a foul called on Puentes. Ian gets up and will trot back towards the bench. 8:03 to play until halftime. Tied at 3. Number 33, Willie B.
Willie the Wall.
Oh, here's a draw. That one's going to go in. Willie B off his line. The Wave did it to the Comets last night, and the Savage do it to the Wave this afternoon.
A live by the sword, die by the sword moment. Let's take a look once again. Yep, just took the wrong bounce deflection. Willie B not in any position. As a roller there. And
Puentes.
Who else but La Roca? And Mario Alvarez tried to make that run, but just couldn't make it.
We'll take a break. 4-3 is our score. This is the Ron Newman Cup playoffs, presented by Verizon on MASL TV. Hugo Puentes, his second Ron Newman Cup playoff goal this season, gives the Savage a 4-3 lead. Alongside Christian Philly Philemon, I am Nick Vassos. Our sideline reporter, Amanda Philemon. We'll check in with her coming up just at the end of the second quarter. Another mistake by Chihuahua, knocking it out of bounds, and that's going to give the Wave a chance here to level it at the top of the arc.
And let's see if they could capitalize on it because, well, Chihuahua capitalized on a mistake made by the Wave earlier with Willie B coming well outside of his box. Mario Alvarez, again, no space to make a sliding attempt to deny the ball or deflect it.
Carvalho, Sanchez, ooh, rebound, Frank Tayu just above the crossbar. A loose ball on the far side, kicked away by Chihuahua. Milwaukee tracks back to gather it up. It is Sanchez. Sanchez outrunning Moises Gonzalez. Sanchez moving to his left. Slows it down, moves to his right. Sanchez with a laser off of the glass, and it comes off to Carvalho. Into Tayu. The King searching for his crown. Kicked out of bounds, and that's going to be another top-of-the-arc restart for Milwaukee coming up. Nope, take that back. Sorry about that. Sanchez. Sanchez retrieves his initial shot.
Fired that ball into traffic, something Southern Californians are real familiar with.
Long drive off the glass. Valle. Tayu over there as well. Rios against the boards. He clears it. Ferdinand of the Wave holds it in. Near side Sanchez. 6.5 to play until halftime. Sanchez, the right footer, off the boards and cleared away by Valle. All the way back to Ferdinand. Max forward to Frank. Tayu trying to turn. Pokes it in there to Reynoso. And Diego's got it. Reynoso, long heave down the field. all the way to the end. Walls able to knee that one back to Willie B. Javi Steinwasser chips it forward. Looking to get it to Tony Walls. Knocked back the other way. Ferdinand controls on the Wave yellow line. Over to Steinwasser. Wave get it across the half line mark. Lopez stride for stride with Javi Steinwasser. Uses a wall pass looking for Carvalho, but kicked away. Gathered up by Walls on the far side. He'll try the left wing corner for Alex Steinwasser this time. Alex away from the goal. Back to Max Ferdinand.
It's got to be a pretty cool thing to be able to say you play professionally with your brother. Alex and Javi, both out of obviously the same place, Sterling Heights, Michigan.
There's been some pretty good brother players in the indoor game.
Charlie and Juan Gonzalez, two players that come to mind right away.
Troy and Todd Dusowski played for the Milwaukee Wave for many, many years. If you want to go back to the NPSL days, you can go with Randy and Rudy Pikuzinski. Here's Max Ferdinand down to the corner to Carvalho. Back out comes Alex Sanchez. The Supernova leaves it for Tony Walls. Here is Cesar Correa walking it in. Correa with a brilliant tackle by Chihuahua.
Excellent defending by Diaz.
Near side for Medrano. He puts on the brakes and goes all the way back to Reynoso. Pressure from Huffman. Reynoso up to Puentes. Back to Leal. Leal forward to Hugo. Hugo's drive off the glass, no good. And Sanchez didn't want to do it, but pops it up and over the dasher boards. It'll go to Chihuahua with 4:09 to play until halftime.
Right to one of our camera guys, too. They're getting a lot of work having to haul that heavy equipment, and they get to be involved in the run of play.
Leal flicks it back. Macias, his drive just above the crossbar, and that goes out of bounds. Back to Milwaukee.
Well, those boards have been really being tested by both sides today. The amount of ferocity that we hear, even up here in the booth, just so loud.
Three-line pass against the Wave, and they'll bring it back towards the other end of the field and place it on the dot right on the yellow line. 50 feet away. Two men in the wall for the Wave. It's Huffman and Javi Steinwasser. Macias will trigger the restart.
That was the man to watch, Escalante, who was wide open for a moment until Breno had the wherewithal to make that play and get in front of Escalante, who already has a goal in today's game.
Breno called for the foul. Escalante goes down. Chihuahua with under 4 will have it. Elvis Osmanovic, our referee, sets the ball in place. It looks like Diaz might want, or Romero, I should say. Anyway, he fired it down the other end of the field. Ferdinand is there. He heads it to Willie B. Willie B on the regular season, 14-7-1, 5.4 goals against average. And Chihuahua wanting a card and not getting one. Romero pleading his case with Osmanovic. Restart to Macias. He'll play it back to Escalante. Oh, that's a handball. Handball called against Puentes.
You talked about Willie B's averages. What's also impressive on the other side of the equation is Diego Reynoso, 4.46 goals against. The only player above him is San Diego's Boris Pardo.
Here's Macias. Macias to the right to Castaneda. Castaneda off the boards. Macias flashed in, couldn't put a boot on it. Puentes in the left wing corner, front and center to Escalante. He runs up on it, trying to spin around Bennett. Good defense there by Bennett. It comes off to Tayu. Tayu down the left side. Tayu shoots that one off the lower left boards, almost in. Now the counter, well, attempted counter by Castaneda, and down on the ground is the Waves. Max Ferdinand shaken up on the play, and a whistle. Play stops. Max Ferdinand shaken up on the play. If we pan to the left, we're going to be able to see Max Ferdinand near the center circle. There he is, writhing in pain. It looks like he's holding his left knee. You hate to see this. The trainers are coming on to tend to Max.
Yeah, and he's just pounding at the turf. Like, one thing that I noticed, like right when Max fell down, Roberto Escalante made the motion to get the attention of his teammates to stop the run of play out of respect for Max going down. So hopefully it's nothing too serious. There we see the trainers extending his legs. Giuliano Oliviero's out there as well.
Let's take a look at what happened, Philly. Here comes.
Looks like some knee-to-knee action
Well,
from Castaneda.
Okay. I would, if you're a Wave fan, you certainly hope that's the case. A contusion is so much better than a non-contact situation. Okay, and that's good. We should note that Breno Oliveira has 3 fouls with 2:41 left to play in the second. So how much of Breno we'll see here in the final 2:41, we shall see. But if he gets another foul, that's a 2-minute blue card against Milwaukee.
That's 2 straight days where Wave players were found in that situation. It was Frank Tayu last night.
Yep. So we've got a timeout here for now. And, guys, I suppose we're going to keep it here?
We're going to keep it here. And I just got the note from head of officials Ryan Sigich that because of his time on the turf, Max Ferdinand is going to be now out for 2 minutes.
Yep. And that's the new rule this year, that if you are down longer than 15 seconds, you have to come out of the game. And that has really improved the flow of the game this year. It's been one of the more consequential, positive rules that have kept the game moving.
I agree. And, I mean, at this point of the game, though, like 2 minutes and 41, Max might as well just enjoy his break and then just come out strong in the third quarter.
Diego Reynoso. His heave to Moises Gonzalez. Coming up, we are going to send it down to Amanda Filliman when the first half is over to check in with Milwaukee's head coach, Giuliano Oliviero. We'll check in with Amanda coming up here in just a moment. Meanwhile, play continues here. Savage leading 4-3. 2:19 to play in the first half. That one scraping the rafters here at Front Wave Arena and landing in the breadbasket of Willie B.
Always great to hear from Jules. Asked him earlier today if the Wave were fortunate enough to make it to the finals and they win, how many titles would that be for him as a player and a coach? And he said 5, so see what happens.
Wow, great nugget there, Philly. And, of course, he played for Keith Tozer and learned from the best. Tozer, one of the most accomplished coaches in MASL and North American soccer history.
Rios' shot missed, and Jose Gilberto Lopez took a moment to lay down on the turf, but had he stood up, he had a wide-open look. Stood up sooner, I should say.
This is Lopez. Now here's a shot that went up into the glass off the foot of Ruiz. And Willoughby will have it on the goalkeeper distribution. 1:21 to play until halftime.
One last nugget for Jules. One cap with the Canadian senior team in 1995 in a friendly against Chile. No doubt you remember him from his NPSL days where he was a Rookie of the Year.
I do. Played for Edmonton. Also played for Montreal. Of course, played for Milwaukee. Here's Ian Bennett. Bennett into the corner. Steps over. So gets it to Escueta. Ian Bennett steps over a defender, lays it off to his teammate, and the squid swats it through. We are level at 4.
There were 3 players on the turf that made that play. It was Ian Bennett, it was Senor Wall, and then, of course, there was Asqueta. 3 players on the turf for the Milwaukee Wave. IB26, and we're starting to hear a buzz in the building, some horns, some vuvuzelas. The argument is, like, nobody wants to see Chihuahua back at Corner Sport Arena because of how deadly they are. And Ian Bennett with a huge answer, 4-4 with 68 seconds left in the half.
What a huge goal by Milwaukee, giving them a boost. Now it's important for the Wave not to let down here in the final 64 seconds of this first half. Ball bounds over the dasher boards, and it'll be back to Chihuahua. Exactly 60 seconds to play in this first half.
Both teams have managed to find really quick answers for the opposition's goal scoring.
Here's Escalante looking for Puentes. Popper Hernandez pops it up through the box. Gets it over to the far side. Javier Steinwasser picks up the loose ball, but can't get it out because Escalante knocked it back in. Now back the other way. And forward now to Hernandez. Left side, Romero, he shoots that one wide right. 35 seconds left. Escalante to Hernandez. Now Diaz. Left side, Puentes, marked by Correa. Puentes moving to his right. No shot available there to Escalante. 18 seconds left. Popper on the right side, marked by Javi. Javi Steinwasser, here's Popper Hernandez, right against Willie B. Two-fisted save. Now Ruiz. That one blocked by the Wave. 2 seconds left, and we are going to roll into halftime, tied at 4.
Excellent first half. Excellent for everybody in this building. Excellent for the viewers at home. Both teams so evenly matched up. Thought that the Savage were going to run away with it as they took 2 goals early and then 3 unanswered by the Wave, and it's been back and forth since.
Standing by to check in with Amanda Philemon. She is going to check in with Milwaukee Waves head coach Giuliano Oliveiro.
It's to talk with all the rock stars.
I know, getting into place. Let's go down to Amanda. She has Milwaukee's head coach. Amanda?
Guys, I'm here with Giuliano Oliveira from Milwaukee Wave. You guys had an intense battle last night. You're back here again, and you're heading into the locker room tied with the Savage. Give me your thoughts on this first half.
You know what? I think we're a little bit lucky to be 4-4 right now. We've really made some, in my opinion, some bad mistakes and given up some very easy goals. So we feel fortunate. 4-4. Yeah, it's basically a new game in the second half, and hopefully we can cut out our mistakes and continue to attack and get goals.
The second half is going to be a true test of where you guys are at physically after last night. How much of this is going to be grit and determination?
You know what? We got a great group of guys. They're mentally tough. They never stop working. We know we're playing the 2-time defending champions, and you know what? Pressure's on them, and our guys are just going to do their best.
All right, can't wait to see the second half, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Amanda. And here we go into halftime. Coming up, we're going to have a conversation with the Waves' Ian Bennett, who was the hero last night, scoring 4 goals. And so far this afternoon, he has got a goal and an assist. Let's take a break. Tied at 4. Semifinal game number 1 of the Ron Newman Cup playoffs, presented by Verizon. Right here on MASL TV.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.
And this is the Major Arena Soccer League. We are here at the Ron Newman Cup playoffs at Front Wave Arena. And we are joined by 4 owners of the Major Arena Soccer League. Managing partner for the Empire Strikers, Jeff Burham, on to my right. Shelley Clark, co-owner of the St. Louis Ambush. Lane Smith, owner of the Tacoma Stars. And managing partner of the Kansas City Comets, Brian Budzinski. Welcome to all of you. It's a rare opportunity that we have an opportunity to chat with all of you when we all get together here in the playoffs. It really is a great opportunity. And you have owner meetings when you all get together at this time. And Jeff, let's begin with you here. Tell us a little about what goes into owner meetings when we're here in Oceanside, California.
Well, first of all, it's been beautiful weather in San Diego. What a great place to host the league meetings. I don't get to see my friends in the league very often. So we always start by getting together and just getting caught up with our families and our, the stories of what happened during the season. We always have good and bad stories to share with each other, to learn from each other. But, we obviously were excited this time because we had a big announcement with the new Verizon sponsorship that I can tell you really has made a difference in not only our belief system, but hopefully our fans as well.
Mm-hmm. Social media is such a big part of businesses these days. It's a big part of our lives, and it's a big part of sports. Shed a little light on how the MASL has been able to reach people through social media this year.
I think our players are real key elements to this. We can only do so much as owners, but the stories of the players are so unique in our league. The more they engage, the more they tell their stories, the more that shows the excitement, the quality of the talent that they play. It's only going to grow our league. So it's really been about activating all the players around the league to have them tell their stories, show what they do during the day, what kind of coffee they drink, what kind of fruit they eat. All that stuff are great stories. Everybody wants to know that.
Well, we all know there's a lot of competition on the field. And Shelley, as we turn to you here, first off, congratulations on the Ambush this year. Turned it around in such a great way, 7-2 to finish the season, qualify for the playoffs. Really proud of the Ambush side and what they've been able to accomplish. So congratulations to you and your team.
Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that.
Yeah. But let's the competition on the field, and some might say, how about competition in the owner's box? Tell us how the owners maybe work together as one team as opposed to thinking that you might be at odds with one another, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, on the field and what goes on, record-wise is one thing. And we're all competitive. We all want to win. There's no question about that. But when it comes to getting beyond that side of things, we all know that if I don't have a great partner and these gentlemen standing around me, that I'm not going to be here. I don't have the ability to play by myself or even with 2 or 3 teams. I've got to have the whole crew. And so because of that, we as owners are able to turn off that competitive side for the most part and be able to sit down at the table and say, what do we need to do? How do we grow this? How do we take it to the next level? And that's really what's important. And it's what makes it great for the gentlemen that are involved and those of us who are serving on the executive committee and those who are consistently engaged with the league. And I'm thankful for these guys because without them, I don't exist.
Mm-hmm. Lane Smith, owner of the Tacoma Stars. Lane, you have been such an integral part of the Major Arena Soccer League, a real key player in our league. And unfortunately, your team didn't qualify. But boy, I tell you, your team is so much better than your record reflected this year. It's been a tough year in terms of traveling from the Pacific Northwest to all across the country. But congratulations to you and your team and how well you have done this year. I'm curious, when you're inside the owners' meeting and all of you are discussing sometimes difficult topics, how do you get through that? How do you get to a decision? How do you build consensus and grow the league and move it forward?
Well, I think we're all friends. If you haven't figured that out yet, we're all friends. We all talk to each other. We all know about our kids, our families, everything that's going on. We are business partners as well. So our focus is, the project that we have, which is the MASL, and connecting to the community, and how do we share best practices and work together. So I think the message here is, for me today, I'm a fan. I'm looking to do better with my team and help the league as all possible. But we're all in this together.
Mm-hmm. All four of your teams have performed on CBS Sports Golazo, our nationwide broadcast platform that delivers our product to houses all across America. And Bud, Kansas City had a number of games this year on CBS Sports Golazo. We've had a 40-game package this year, which is another point of growth for the MASL. What is the impact of Golazo across the league?
Yeah, Nick, it's a really good question, and you've got three, outstanding owners to my left here, and myself, that really we pride ourselves on being able to provide an absolutely professional product. CBS Sports Golazo has given us tremendous exposure, a tip of a hat to JP Della Camera for all his work that he's done to put us in this position, because without him, quite frankly, we wouldn't be in this position. I think what you're now seeing is all the eyeballs that are on these games, and they're realizing how talented our players are, and how talented our coaches are, and the utter excitement all the fans have. That goes through the interaction right there that that's from the field through the to the homes for people. And so, yeah, CBS Sports Golazo has been fantastic. We're looking to expand on that for the next season, so fans should probably be pretty excited about what's coming.
Brian Budzinski, Lane Smith, Shelley Clark, Jeff Burham. Thank you all so much for what you do for the Major Arena Soccer League. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Across the nation, MASL players are giving back, utilizing their professional power to touch and inspire people in their local communities nationwide. Free soccer clinics, where kids can meet their heroes and learn new skills. After-school programs and special events. And surprise visits to the classroom. Visiting brave kids in the hospital, bringing joy and hope. Supporting special needs care, partnering with local businesses, and so much more. MASL, passion on the field, purpose off the field, committed to community.
time here at Front Wave Arena, but I was able to catch up with Ian Bennett before all this. Ian, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're awake for this right now. Let's talk about last night. So it was a back and forth affair. Can you walk us through the emotional ebbs and flows from Casey's opening goal to the disallowed goal to the fourth quarter where you guys were able to finally put it away?
You know what's crazy? It's nothing surprising when playing Casey, man. The comments, man, they always bring it. We always bring it. It's a rivalry. Anything can happen. So it was just a good game. Obviously, kudos to them. They fought hard. We fought hard as well, and we kind of pulled it off. So it was a good result.
You didn't kind of pull it off. You definitely pulled it off.
Yeah, but they didn't stop playing, though, man. I was trying to take, like, the fourth quarter off, but they kept coming, so we had to get in there. So
I mean, you stuck it in there. And, you know, hey, as a great athlete, rising to the occasion is what you do, and you did that last night with 4 goals at the end of the game. Amazing performance by you. What can we expect from you and your teammates today?
Yeah, this is a big one. You're going against the #1 seed, right? A juggernaut, man. They know how to play indoor soccer. It's in their blood. So we just got to bring it. And honestly, we got to bring it for 4 quarters and limit our mistakes. And I think we'll have a good chance of winning this game.
All right, let's expand on the narrative for today, and it's rest, which is something you haven't had a lot of. A quick turnaround today. Talk about the challenges that presents to coming into today's matchup.
Yeah, rest and recovery, right? We brought 4 trainers. We put them to work. I felt bad. Like, we're in there in the middle of the night, and they're working hard. But, I mean, that's what their job is, and our job is to perform. So they did a great job getting us ready. And then, honestly, it's my job to try to bring the energy. Even if some guys got to fake it a little bit, we got to bring it. But, I mean, it's a semifinal game, right? We're in San Diego. The sun's rising. The sun's shining. Because if we were in Milwaukee, it'd be cold. So we got to take advantage of this. So we can't take this for granted. So we're going to bring it in, and we're gonna show out.
I have no doubt you're going to do that for sure. Now, discuss your approach with facing the Savage. Like, what's it going to take for Milwaukee to advance to the finals?
Honestly, a lot of work, a lot of grit, and honestly, we got to score goals. Because if you watch the ambush game, they had chances, right? And they didn't bury them, so hopefully we could put a couple goals past them and play with some confidence and some swag like we always do, and I think we can do this.
Oh, I love that. Now, I'm going to look ahead a little bit, just to kind of set the stage. You haven't played the Sockers this season. You've played the Blast. Have you guys thought about scenarios, you know, if you do make it to that final, on who you might want to play or how that could play out into your advantage or disadvantage?
I think, honestly, against Baltimore or San Diego, I think San Diego would be awesome because, obviously, we get back to this beautiful weather. But, honestly, we're just trying to get there and see what happens, right? And then we can think about that stuff ahead. But, honestly, right now we're just focused on Chihuahua, and we got to get past them, and it's going to be tough.
Absolutely. Ian, I could talk to you for hours. I love that, but I know you've got a lot of work to do. So good luck to you, your team, and the rest of this match.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play. Come here. Come here.
And we are back inside Front Wave Arena. This first semifinal match between the Savage and the Milwaukee Wave is tied at 4. Let's give you some first half highlights, and we're going to start with the last goal of the first quarter that gave Chihuahua a 3-2 lead Philly.
Oh, Jorge Leal punched that through the mittens of William Bonaheny, and then we have one candidate for MVP, and that Alex Sanchez, who created the equalizer. At that point, we're sitting on 3-3. Willie B was out of position. The long ball bounces ever so gently. Hugo Puentes was the catalyst in the win against the ambush just on Friday night. And then IB26 using his friend the wall to connect with Sean Asqueta. 4-4. We've got 8 goals over the course of the first half. And no surprise with how tight both teams have been. Only the 5th meeting historically. 2-2 the series. The last contest, January 28th, the 7-6 overtime win for the Savage. Goal courtesy by Javier Gallegos, who is not on the turf. But we're going to be in for a slobber knocker of an affair, and moments away from starting the third quarter.
Here we go. Chihuahua has the ball to begin the second half. We are level at 4. Chihuahua moving it right to left. And then, as usual, Christian Hernandez has now entered the game. So Hernandez now the new goalkeeper for Chihuahua. Here's Escalante on the center circle. He'll play it over to Brian Macias. Yep. Down into the corner here. Back to Escalante. He'll tee one up. He rolled over the top of that one. Well right of target and kicked long.
Christian Hernandez in his 3rd season in the MASL. He puts up some really solid numbers.
Down to Puentes. Back to Escalante. Escalante. His right footer out wide to the right, and you could see his reaction there. Meanwhile, Bennett racing down the far touchline into Chihuahua territory and sprays one just to the right of goal. Sanchez trying to come up with the rebound, able to touch it back to Alvarez.
IB26 with a goal and an assist, and Roberto Escalante suffering a little bit of that Star Wars Stormtrooper syndrome as he's well off the mark on those last 2 shots.
Huge Star Wars fan, Philly. I got that one loud and clear.
I appreciate that.
Here comes Sanchez.
I'll be your friendly neighborhood Wookiee.
Sanchez over to You're my only hope. Here is Mario Alvarez. He rolls it right, and Christian Hernandez able to move to his right, scoop it up.
The force is strong with that one. All right, no more. No. We could spend the rest of the day making references to the great George Lucas, now Disney's franchise.
Chihuahua with the ball on the half line, tied with Milwaukee at 4. 12:58 to play in the third. As the soccer Star Wars jersey goes by us down the stairs. Here's Papa Hernandez moving to his right. The left-footed shot off the inboard's no good. Moises Gonzalez and Carvalho give chase. Carvalho trying to get it to Javier Steinwasser, but it's touched away and taken back by Chihuahua.
Yeah, you're not kidding. A Christian Gutierrez Star Wars jersey right in front of us at the perfect time. Winning lottery ticket number coming through our booth. If we ask for these things, the laws of attraction, do they really work?
Castaneda moving forward across the line. Shot, save, Willie B. A second try and another denial by Willie B. Driven back in there, Willie B. Picks up the hot potato. And the score remains level at 4.
Well, thankfully, Willie B had his oven mitts on picking up that hot potato, and his reaction time has been stellar.
Hernandez lifts it back to the center circle. Huffman and Sanchez give chase. Sanchez trying to play it back. Chihuahua's Castaneda goes down, and Puentes, Ruiz, outshot by Castaneda, that one wide to the left. Rebound and near side, looking for Diaz. Diaz has got it, but double teamed in the corner. Lopez also in the area before Asqueta kicks it long. Hernandez comes up off his line to get it to Lopez. Lopez across Milwaukee's yellow line. Plays it out to the right, and then Rios measures it and blasts it up into the netting.
Rios has been very eager to insert his name offensively into this game. Between today and the last time, he's just been firing them. They've had a lot of velocity there, but they just haven't had the target, and you can tell that he wants to score. He's just getting too much on it. Needs to settle in, perhaps one touch.
IB26 continuing his hot play. Another goal for Ian Bennett, his second on the night. The Wave have their first lead. It's 5-4.
And speaking of one touch, the shuffle, Frank Tayu was a part of that. No, he was not. He was very close to it, but IB26 doing the shuffle. The Canadian sensation strikes again, 3 points in the game, 2 goals and an assist. IB26 carrying the offensive workload for the Milwaukee Wave tonight.
What an incredible playoff run for Ian Bennett.
The man just doesn't know how to stop or quit.
Absolutely remarkable.
Sensational athlete, heck of a human being, so positive. I'm in awe of Ian Bennett. I'm sorry, I just am.
In his 11th year from Hamilton, Ontario, 27 goals during the regular season, 7 goals in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs.
And technically the third option offensively for the Wave.
Correction, 6 goals.
6 goals in 2 days? It's not a bad output.
Right. I take that. 5-4 Wave. Here comes Chihuahua. Here's a shot that goes up into the netting. Let's take a look at the legend here, Philly.
3-time champion with the Wave. There you see the years. Only 421 goals.
That's all.
Only 514 points. Only Frank Tayu, his teammate, has more. 44 goals and 34 playoff appearances. He is Mr. April.
Back the other way comes Chihuahua. Yeah, I think that Ian Bennett guy, he's pretty good. Here come the Wave again. It's Correa down the left side, trying to cut it back. He does, and then Hernandez off his line to make the save.
Oh, took it practically off the dome. That tomfoolery by Correa to get the space to free up the ability to take the shot.
Macias slips through a couple of double teams, and then Carvalho takes it back. He goes down, no call. Refs are letting him play, and Macias back up. Forward to Moises Gonzalez. He'll fire one to the near post. Willie B makes the save. An attempted header goes into the opposite corner, and Sanchez will clear it away.
Something came out of that deep blue sea. The carpet monster, as you referred to, as Frank Tayu took a slip.
Here's Romero.
If there's anybody out there that would love to draw their interpretation of a carpet monster, I'd love to see it.
Macias, front and center. Near side, Romero. Here's Romero, front and center to Macias. Runs up on that one and blasts it wide to the left. Flicked back to Gonzalez. His shot is wide left as well. And then Ferdinand, who was shaken up in the first half, comes away with the rebound. Max looking for someone to pass to. It deflects off of Chihuahua, and the Savage will take it back.
It's great to see Max Ferdinand back into the game. The trainers came out to him with about 2 minutes and change remaining in that second quarter, and he had to sit out the rest of the half, but good for Milwaukee that he's back on the turf.
Here's another drive. Willie B makes the save. The ball is loose out front. Driven in, but first a handball call. No goal. The score remains 5-4, and the ball will be given to Milwaukee.
Oh, easy and fortunate break there as Chihuahua was eyeing that equalizer.
Willie B, a long heave down the field. It comes to the feet of Ian Bennett, who runs up on that one and sends a left footer up into the twine above the soccer script.
I want to talk about efficiency, Nick, in terms of goals. Like the Milwaukee Wave have had 10 shots, 5 of which they've converted to goals. For the Savage, 4 goals on 18 shots. Both teams very effective in their conversion rates.
Mm-hmm. Wave in the center circle. Bennett with a header. Headed back the other way. Both teams trading possessions in the midfield. Sent long for Carvalho. Chasing it into the corner. along with Romero. Steinwasser comes free and shoots, but that one off the near glass. It rebounds into the left wing corner to Bennett. Bennett away from the goal, back to Tony Walls. Near side Correa. Back to Tony Walls. Walls sends one into the corner to Carvalho. That was the Wallace-Gora. Oh, that was in a second Wallace-Gora attempt, and that one up into the glass. And we've got a timeout on the field. Official timeout. 7:42 left to play in this third quarter. Milwaukee has taken the lead on a goal by Ian Bennett. We'll be back as the Ron Newman Cup playoffs continue on MASL TV.
MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League. All the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more.
Hey, while you're there, stop in and check out 10 for 10, which is hosted by my broadcast partner in Kansas City, Eric Bergrud. Guess who we had on the last episode? Mr. Christian Philemon. Very entertaining conversation between those two excellent broadcasters. So check it out, MASLsoccer.com.
Well, thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate that. And big shout out to your broadcasting partner, Eric Bergrud. One thing I've been dying to say all weekend long is goalkeeping. And for those wondering how come Eric Bergrud isn't in the booth with you today and this weekend, scheduling conflict. So I decided to fill in thanks to the league.
Great to have you here. Here's a shot by Rios. That one made it through to the goal. Willie B makes an easy save. 7 minutes and 8 seconds to play in this third quarter. Milwaukee on top by 1, 5-4. This is single elimination. The winner here will advance to the Ron Newman Cup Finals. Game 2 coming up a little bit later, and it is dripping with tradition. The 6-time indoor champion San Diego Sockers are going to be taking on the 8-time Baltimore Blast. And that is coming your way at 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. I was practicing my time zones last night. Escalante. Escalante sends it in. And both benches are going bonkers there over that last whistle. It looks like
pass back with the foot. He's not able to handle that.
That's right. Good call, Philly. That's going to give the Wave a good chance here at the top of the arc with 6:42. A good restart opportunity here. Sanchez, Bennett, Tayu, Carvalho.
The last time they
and
ran
Alvarez.
that, Carvalho advanced slightly to the right to be open. You're looking at Ian and Frank creating the distraction.
Alvarez, Sanchez trying to get it down to Bennett. Now swing it near side for Carvalho into the box, headed away by the Savage. Picked up there by Leal. Sent forward into Wave territory. Alvarez back there. He'll play it up to Sanchez. Good ball there from Alvarez, and Sanchez has got a wide open ocean of blue in front of him. That one deflects off of the glass. Gonzalez sends it back to his teammate, Castaneda, and then the funny hop there returns it to the Wave. Sanchez blasts one off the glass. Bennett picks up the rebound. Milwaukee will reset. Under 6 to play in the third. 5-4 Milwaukee. Into Tayu. Tayu looking to turn. He'll flick it back to Alvarez. That one broken up by the Savage. Good defensive play by Chihuahua.
Chihuahua's been very solid at neutralizing the King. He yielded his mighty scepter just last night for a goal. A couple of assists as well, but very ineffective so far this evening.
Into the corner. Huffman had it for a moment, and a foul is going to go against Jose Gilberto Lopez.
One thing that's not going to appear on the stat sheets that's very effective for Frank is he's going to draw a lot of attention from defenders, and that's going to open up his teammates.
That's a great point. Tayu with a couple of helpers here this afternoon. A loose ball by Lopez. Turns, trying to run past Tony Walls off the boards, and it deflects into the right wing corner to Papa Hernandez. Now here's a drive. That running up on that one was Romero, and he blasts a missile wide to the right.
Stormtrooper syndrome, it seems to be spreading around for Chihuahua. They've had clean looks. There's been great ball movement. They're just not on target.
Chihuahua will keep coming. They will send wave after wave. They are deep. They are talented. Milwaukee has to remain vigilant in their defense. They've got to remain solid.
See how fired up Tony Walls was on that block?
Castaneda. Javi Steinwasser in front of him. Under 5 to play in the third. 5-4 Milwaukee. Castaneda with the ball once again, marked by Javier Steinwasser. Touch to Macias. Castaneda back into the corner for Lopez. Lopez giving ground. Now back out towards the center circle. Swing it near side, Romero. Romero marked by Escueta. Romero tapping it in, several touches. Now front and center. It comes to Valle before sending it over to Puentes. Valle. Right side. In. Almost broken up. Castaneda with a drive. Deflected wide off the inboards. Huffman gets it to Willie B., who sends one around the glass. Out front to Chihuahua. Now Puentes. Here's Hugo on the left side. A stop and go action. Couple of soul rolls. Moves to his left. Escueta has got a mark on him. Here's Puentes moving to his right. He shoots, and that one blocked up into the netting. Milwaukee doing a good job defensively on Hugo Puentes, who was the star in the quarterfinal matchup with the St. Louis Ambush.
I mean, he's got some offensive input into today's game as well. La Roca, the Rock, second leading scorer for the Savage side.
Macias in the left wing corner triggers the restart. Back at the Leal. Banged one off his own teammate. Castaneda with a second chance. That one popped high into the air. Ball still loose. Puentes and Javi Steinwasser give chase. And Escueta able to kick it long. Hernandez way off his line to head it back to Wave territory. Now the ball over to Leal. Leal marked by Huffman. That one off the glass. And Breno Oliveira comes away with it. Sends it forward to Alex Steinwasser. Steinwasser trying to shield away a trio of Savage defenders, and Chihuahua able to knock it free. 3 minutes to play in the third. 3 minutes to play in the third. Milwaukee maintaining a 1-goal lead.
Not sure about the folks here or at home. I'm biting on my nails. I'm up to my cuticles. It's nerve-wrack city right now.
Leal. Played long to Escueta. Now Carvalho shaking up on the play a little bit. Foul called on Chihuahua. And Ricardo Carvalho in his 10th season from Salvador, Brazil. Most recently with the Florida Tropics, a fine player for many, many years in the indoor game. Regular season, 13 goals, 14 assists, 14 blocks, so he plays well on both ends of the floor.
Gosh, his career goes back to the 2015-16 season with the Chicago Mustangs.
Oh, wow.
He's been around for quite
Sure
some
has.
time. All MASL rookie team during that tenure of his life. And went to college in Mishawaka, Indiana, Bethel. And why do I know that? Because I stepped foot in Mishawaka, Indiana. That's Amish country, Indiana. How a Brazilian must have felt seeing Amish people for the first time. I'd love to ask him that question.
A little bit too quick on the restart, says Kyle Trimble, our crew chief here tonight. Kyle Trimble, he's officiating his 28th playoff game in the Major Arena Soccer League.
Got all the rock star officials out during the postseason. Rich Grady,
Yep.
we got to call the night before.
Ryan Sigich, the director of officials, is with us here in California and up in the booth, assisting us with any calls that are made on the field to help clarify what the officials down there on the blue turf are seeing. It's always very handy.
Oh, it's so helpful on
Yeah.
so many occasions. Just because we've got that enhanced VAR, they're letting us know what's going on. They obviously see the game a lot differently than you and I do, and they've been extremely beneficial to our broadcast.
Here comes Diaz. Off the boards to the left. Stuart Grable sends that one out to the left. Chihuahua trying to gather up the rebound, and they do with Lopez playing it to Romero. Now Rios. Back to Lopez. He will leave it for Escalante. Now front and center. It comes over to Romero. Now here's Diaz running up on it. What a great block by Mario Alvarez. Tayu! 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 Just wide left.
He had it. He had the run. He wanted to wield that scepter. Kaiser Permanente thought otherwise, though.
Romero back the other way. 54 seconds. Romero shoots. Willie B. Easy save. Alex Sanchez. Here comes Sanchez in his third year. Now to Max Ferdinand with 36 seconds. Ferdinand to Cesar Correa. Correa lifts one into the corner, and Huffman is going to be called for the foul. Huffman, a few words for Trimble. Trimble doesn't even look at him. Hernandez plays it long. Headed to Puentes, 21 seconds. Can Chihuahua get something here? Left side, Papa Hernandez, 16 seconds to Macias. Macias back to Hernandez. Wallace score attempt, no good. Huffman will play it long. That should do it for the first half. Now Hernandez will play it long, and that one will reach the netting with 1.4 seconds left to play in this third.
It's always a fun thing to watch when you're in the arena, when the ball gets wedged in between the netting and the plexi, how long it takes for the individual tasked with moving it to bring it down.
Willie B with a long heave. And we have reached the end of the third quarter. With the score, Milwaukee 5, Chihuahua 4. Stand by, everybody. The final 15 minutes are next, as this is the Ron Newman Cup Playoffs presented by Verizon on MASL TV.
Across the nation, MASL players are giving back, utilizing their professional power to touch and inspire people in their local communities nationwide. Free soccer clinics, where kids can meet their heroes and learn new skills. After-school programs and special events, and surprise visits to the classroom. Visiting brave kids in the hospital, bringing joy and hope. Supporting special needs care, partnering with local businesses, and so much more. MASL, passion on the field, purpose off the field, committed to community.
Five for Milwaukee over. There is the Panda, Amanda Philliman, the third member of our broadcast crew. 5-4 Milwaukee over Chihuahua as we enter the fourth quarter here in this first semifinal in the Ron Newman Cup playoffs. This series between Chihuahua and Milwaukee has been close, Philly.
So close. 4 meetings. This is the 5th. The series is tied at 2-2, but only 1 game played in the last 3 seasons between both of these franchises. That, of course, took place on January the 28th, where he had a 7-6 overtime win by the Savage. They didn't play the last couple of seasons. You'd have to go back to Chihuahua's inaugural year, where the Wave were 2-1 against the Savage during that time. So no surprise here that we have such a close contest, and with both teams eager to get back to the finals, we should be in for one heck of a fourth quarter.
Don't forget, our second semifinal is coming up at 5:30 Pacific, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Nailed it! And that'll be between the second seed, San Diego Sockers, and the third seed, the Baltimore Blast. This just in, those two teams have won a lot of titles over the years.
What is it, 26 over the course of their illustrious history? 16
yes.
for San Diego, 10
and
for the Baltimore Blast.
We know those two franchises love beating one another. Here comes Chihuahua on the breakout. Can they get the game level? Here's a shot. Willie B makes an incredible save. Score remains 5-4 as Milwaukee clears the zone.
William the Wall covering the ball. What a heck of a save by Willie B.
Wow. Willie B coming up huge. Boy, what a game he has had here today, Philly. He's been really good.
What a season he's had. I mean, since coming over from the Harrisburg Heat, huge in between the pipes for Giuliano Oliviero. Willie B, a big body, highly athletic, very flexible as we've seen. And he's keeping Milwaukee in the position that they're in, 5-4, with still plenty of time remaining, though, for the Savage to make a run.
Savage, Steinwasser, Alex and Javi both out there. Brothers working hard as Javi Steinwasser tries to play it to Mario. And a foul is called against the Savage. And Mario Alvarez almost went off the field unexpected as that dashboard door comes swung wide open into the bench.
You know, how foolish of me, by the way. We made a Wayne's World reference at the top of the broadcast, but Mario Alvarez out of Aurora, Illinois.
Oh, hello.
Where Wayne and Garth came from.
Pretty cool, dude.
Extreme close-up.
Here's Super Mario right down Main Street to Javier Steinwasser. Moving to his left. His attempted wall of Scora is no good, and a foul called on Javi Steinwasser by Kyle Trimble, our crew chief here tonight. So back to Chihuahua, trailing by 1. Early portions of the fourth quarter. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Considering how intense and exciting this game has been, no penalties have been called on either side. We've seen no cards whatsoever.
Unlike last night where we saw several cards.
Every color within the infraction spectrum.
And one player in particular, Rian Marquez, with 12 penalties, or 12 minutes in penalties. Tony Walls, down to Escueta. Escueta, right back to Tony Walls. Milwaukee cycling up their offense, patiently getting it to Max Ferdinand, who steps onto the field. Walls on back to Willie B. Willie B. And Castaneda over to Macias. Macias hits that one on the volley, and Willie B. moving to his left. Saved it out of bounds. That'll be a corner kick coming up to Chihuahua.
Macias was very close to threading it through that upper right corner.
Let's see what the Savage do here. Macias behind the ball. He's got Castaneda immediately to his left. Macias holding out his left hand, tries to thread the needle between the two-man wall. Does it again. Shot! Goal, Savage! We're level at 5 once again with 12:34 to play in the game.
Who else but the man that we highlighted to start this broadcast, La Roca! Hugo Puentes pulverizes that ball through, and a huge goal. He has stamped his name, his second goal of tonight, and it couldn't have come at a better time for the Savage. The equalizer with 12:34 remaining.
Hugo Puentes, number 2 on the afternoon. It's a brand new ball game. 12:34 to go in the game.
One thing I'll point out about Hugo Puentes, back in my time being an athlete, we wore the baggy shorts. In Hugo Puentes' case, he likes to ride those shorts up as high as he can, but if I had thighs, calf muscles, and quads like him, I'd probably consider doing the same thing myself.
Here's Stuart Grable trying to send that one into the corner, but out of bounds off of Milwaukee. It'll be given back to Chihuahua.
Action-packed. Getting there, right down to the wire, fourth quarter. 10 goals between the two.
That is the thing with Chihuahua. They just keep coming, wave after wave of good player. And Christian Hernandez coming in the second half, sends it into the corner, and that one headed out of bounds off of Stuart Grable, I believe, either that or Alvarez. Any case, it's going to be a top-of-the-arc restart. Dangerous opportunity for the Wave here. Papa Hernandez walks up slowly, checks back at the bench. He'll have Escalante to the right.
Rios to the left.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Hernandez and a timeout. Always a good time for a timeout. I've heard that somewhere before. We will keep it right here. Maybe. Yep. Okay, we're staying here. Thank you, guys. Let's talk a little bit about the game coming up. It is the San Diego Sockers. 20-4 this year. Undefeated here at Front Wave Arena. They earned the number 2 seed. They lost out on the best record in the MASL to Chihuahua, hosting the number 3 seeded Baltimore Blast. Baltimore Blast resurgent at the last part of the regular season, overtaking the Kansas City Comets to lock down that 3rd seed. They took out Utica in the quarterfinal match, and here they are. It's going to be a great matchup between these two teams. San Diego undefeated in this building, but these two teams know each other fairly well. The franchises would like nothing better than to beat one another.
Nostalgia sells, and for fans of the Missile, they're seeing these logos on the screen right now, and all they could do is get giddy with glee, considering the history that both teams have with one another. I know the talk around the town has been about Onua Obasi being head coach of the year, and rightfully so, quadrupling the Strikers' win total. But Dave Bascome, with a brand new young team for the most part, not necessarily brand new.
That's a great point.
But young, I mean, he's managed to coach them to the point where they finished in the 3rd seed. Highly impressive.
Yeah, it's a great point, Philly. Let's see what happens here on the restart. Escalante comes over to Rios. And Rios once again up into the netting. Many of his shots have been high.
Just putting too much behind that. We know he can score. He's done it a time or two. He finishes the regular season as the Golden Boot winner. It's that extra touch, maybe the breath, and he can find it through.
What is going to happen here? That one knocked out of bounds. It is off of Chihuahua. It'll stay with the Wave. A Savage will pick up Milwaukee's offense near the half line. Breno Oliveira swings his right leg through it. Cesar Correa back into the corner. And Carvalho plays it into open space. Max Ferdinand gets the ball back from a teammate, sends it near side Sanchez.
Great ball movement.
Sanchez out wide to the right to Breno. Oliveira back to Alex Sanchez. Now Max Ferdinand. The veteran plays it forward to Breno. Breno's found some space. Left footer goes up and over the glass, and Breno reaches down and slaps the blue turf in frustration.
I do love his passion. I mean, his passion has propelled him to a position, there's your alliteration, where he just had a fine season. I can't help but reiterate the career highs that he's had. I'm proud of him. I've known Breno since his time playing for the Florida Tropics, and he continues to get better year after year.
Clock is rolling, 11 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Christian Hernandez. Willie B throws it long. On the volley, Huffman. Huffman yelling at Kyle Trimble, wanting the deflection. But it's Chihuahua's ball as they move it across the half line, left to right. Huffman back on defense. It's driven into the box and into the right wing corner. Alex Sanchez using the wall pass to himself. A good move here. Ruiz, though, gets tangled up with Steinwasser. And then Castaneda over to Diaz. Wallace-Gora attempt is turned aside by Walls. A second try there by Lopez. Up into the netting. Goalkeeper distribution coming up to Willie B.
You know, one thing I have to wonder, and the thought dawned on me, this is a new ball that they've been using within the postseason. Chihuahua's had a lot of shots that they fired off target. I wonder if they're just not used to playing with the new miter ball. Miter's been the official game ball supplier of the MASL all season, but as we know, this is a new playoff ball, and I can't help but wonder whether or not all these teams are used to it.
Interesting. Steinwasser deflects the ball into the left wing corner. He goes off the glass. The upper left-hand corner, and it comes off to Correa. Correa will send it back to the half line to Ferdinand. Into Javier Steinwasser. Washer plays it over to Carvalho, but it's intercepted and taken back. No, Ferdinand's got it now. He shoots, and that one blocked. Oh, all the way back to Castaneda. One-on-one with Willie B. Castaneda moves to his left, and then with some help from a teammate, turns it aside. Brilliant defense by the Wave.
My Lord, what a massive defensive contribution by multiple parties on the Milwaukee Wave. Castaneda had a one-on-one, but he gets denied.
Here's Escalante, correction, it's Rios. His drive is blocked by Max Ferdinand. Alex Sanchez, he goes down and a foul is going to be called on Chihuahua. Is it Rios or Macias? I'm not sure.
Either way, it's a Wave restart.
Elvis Osmanovic backs up the defender. Ferdinand opts to play it to Mario Alvarez.
Interesting observation. The public address announcer asked, hey, Wave fans, make some noise. Everybody wearing a San Diego Sockers jersey was waving their cowbells, their whistles, their horns, and their vuvuzelas.
Chihuahua sends it into the right wing corner, but no player there. Puentes not close enough, and Willie B accepts the ball in a sweat-soaked shirt. Outlets out to Huffman. Tony Walls up to Ian Bennett. Bennett lost it, but Javier Steinwasser, Alex Steinwasser, able to get it to Mario Alvarez, who plays it forward to Carvalho. Ricardo Carvalho in the left wing corner. Away from the goal, back to Tony Walls in the center circle. 8.5 to play. Level at 5. Ian Bennett, who has been nothing short of remarkable. Into the corner to Carvalho. Carvalho to Walls. Walls tries the right side to Alvarez. Alvarez fakes to the right, into Alex Steinwasser, leaves it for Bennett. Bennett got a couple of goals this afternoon. 6 during the Ron Newman Cup playoffs so far. Away back to Super Mario. Alvarez with one hand on the dasher boards. Moves to his right. Now over to Alex Sanchez. Sanchez fakes, creating a chance. Now Tony Walls will shoot. What a save! Rebound by Bennett. No good. Walls a second try. That one wide left. Here's Carvalho. He sends it off the boards. Can Ian Bennett get a chance? He goes down. It comes back to Milwaukee remarkably. Carvalho with a left-footed shot blocked by Chihuahua. 7.5 to play. Walls again with a drive, and that one makes contact with Romero above the shoulders, and he goes down on the turf. Timeout. Let's take a break. While they tend to Romero, we're tied at 5. The action is fast and furious. Let's take a break. This is the Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon on MASL TV. And that's exactly where we are, Front Wave Arena, this beautiful new facility and the home of the San Diego Sockers here, hosting the Ron Newman Cup quarters and semifinals. And one team here, the winner of this game, will punch their ticket into the Ron Newman Cup finals, where the finals will move to each team's respective arenas. They'll play a 3-game series at each of their arenas, and the team with the highest seed will have home field advantage.
And home field advantage is something that the Savage are going to be looking forward to, because Corner Sport Arena is their fortress. No one has beaten them there this season.
Ferdinand racing, trying to get it to Taiyu in the box. Chihuahua sends it out wide. Taiyu will take the rebound and play it back to Javi Steinwasser. Forward to Taiyu. He runs into a trio of defenders. Wisely plays it back to Steinwasser. Now right side for Cesar Correa. Back into the King. The King plays it to Alvarez. Back to Sanchez. Sanchez, a good fake to his right, shoots with his left. That one blocked. And Moises Gonzalez plays it to Ruiz, who played it back, and the King is in the area. Here's Sanchez. He takes it back. He shoots, and that one's saved by Christian Hernandez from Mexico City, Mexico.
He's been tested a time or two here in the third and fourth quarter, making some pretty sensational saves.
Now to Lopez in the corner. He is double teamed. Here's Leal. He hits it on the volley, and it goes out of bounds. Want to follow up on that point you're talking about, Corner Sport Arena, and the contrast in playing surfaces. At Corner Sport, you have a hard, sort of bumpy surface, as some players have described it to us. And here at Front Wave Arena, you've got a beautiful, smooth surface, but it's squishier. It might be a little heavier to go through, so you get different bounces, and perhaps that might be the reason that Jorge Rios might be just a little bit off. We don't know. That's a possibility. But it's certainly different than what we used to play on.
Oh, of course. I mean, it can't be because of the fact that he's snake bit in the season. He's been electric, but still plenty of time for him to make an impact. But it's got to be frustrating for a man who's got 30-plus goals on the season.
Here's Alex Steinwasser. Still 6 minutes to play in this game. There's a long way to go. Carvalho trying to get it to Ferdinand, but Hernandez scrambles to his left to cover up for Chihuahua. Play to Romero, then back to Hernandez. Hernandez's kick is popped up high into the air. Escueta and Valle get tangled up, and that one goes off of Milwaukee. Escueta thought that was Valle who kicked it out of bounds. But it'll be given back to Chihuahua with 5:35 to play in the game.
Arturo Valle has the nickname Pilo in his 4th year in the MESL, 4th season in the Savages roster. And here's a young man who played in Liga MX over down in Juarez, just across the border from Texas.
Meanwhile, into the corner goes Romero, and that one rejected by the Wave defense. Escueta kicks it long in a 3-line violation. Correction, Cesar Correa. And they'll bring it back towards Milwaukee's side of the field, place it on the yellow line, and the Savage will get a restart. Milwaukee's defensive unit comes back out, including Grable and Huffman.
We've just been told that Escueta's got 3 fouls, Nick.
Here's a shot by Puentes, blocked by Milwaukee. We'll keep an eye on that. Breno Oliveira heads it across the half line. Diaz could not get it back to Hernandez, and as a result, the Wave take it over. Javi Steinwasser. On back to Huffman, changes for Milwaukee. Offensive players come back onto the field, including Sanchez and Tayu. Alvarez to Javi Steinwasser. Now from the center circle, up to Steinwasser, trying to flick it back to Tayu.
Oh, it's a good idea as Tayu was wide open.
Castaneda, a little stop and go. Can he get past Sanchez? He cannot. Sanchez up with the ball. Plays it to Bennett, who comes on. 4:22 to play. Level at 5. Bennett moves to his right. He shoots into the box. That one blocked away. Headed back in. And Hernandez has got it for the Savage. There is a challenge flag coming out. Was there a handball in the box? Was there a handball? I thought there might have been. Could that be the call?
That would be a significant set of circumstances if that is the case.
Here comes Kyle Trimble. Elvis Osmanovic already has the headgear on, waiting for the crew chief to come over. Here is the call. Let's listen.
Milwaukee is challenging a handball, blue card.
Handball, as that is the challenge. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. There's the shot. Okay. Okay, let's look at that again. I don't know if it's Macias or is that one right there. Let's see here. Might need to back it up just a little bit more. Oh, there. Was that from Macias? I don't know if. What do you. Oh! Oh! That right there, it looks like it may. They're going to look at this one again. Kyle Trimble and Elvis Osmanovic are looking at it. Look at it here.
No, I don't think it is.
No?
I think it came off his chest. I think Macias got it off just in time.
Okay, here we go. Let's look at it again. What do you think at home? Huh? It looked like to me it hooks it right off his bicep. Look at this. Great work by our crew here. Here we go. One more frame.
Oh, I'm seeing.
And one more frame.
Oh, there.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Do they see it? Do the officials see it the same way? Kyle Trimble, Elvis Osmanovic are talking about it. That's,
I mean, based
After
on what I
review,
saw.
the call on the field stands. No handball.
Oh, whoa. Inconclusive, apparently, to Kyle Trimble and Elvis Osmanovic.
And so as a result of throwing out that challenge flag,
Yeah.
Giuliano Oliviero and the Milwaukee Wave no longer have it. I thought it was not off his arm. Then that other replay, I thought it was. And this entire place, whether they were wearing Soccer's jerseys or anything else, we heard a fair amount of the Bluebirds out.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Okay. Two things here from Rich Grady, MASL official. Nothing conclusive on the video, and the ball could have possibly be above the sleeve length. Here comes Macias, headed in! Goal, Chihuahua! What a crazy turnaround! The Savage take the lead. 3:43 to play.
Apropos, I gotta say,
my.
Chihuahua indeed. He's been very quiet the last couple of games in this postseason, but he finally stamps his name offensively. Jorge Barreja Rios. Chestic gets the touch, pushes it through, and the Savage take a 6-5 lead. Wow.
What a turn of events.
Well, we're going to have to come back to that moment if this outcome stays the way it does.
Oh, my. Oh, heartbreak for the Wave. Elation for the Savage. Oh, my. Mario Alvarez kicks it out of bounds. It'll be Chihuahua's ball. 3:32 to play. If you're Milwaukee, you got to go back to sawn wood and keep coming. Three-line violation by Chihuahua. There's a mistake. That'll put the ball on the yellow line. Jorge Rios with his first goal of the playoffs. Yo, Frank Tayu, the king! The king, top shelf, where grandma keeps the cookies, levels the game at 6. This is crazy, folks. Crazy.
It's not going to be wielding his mighty scepter. It's going to be wielding his mighty crown, because that comes off of the dome piece of the most prolific scorer in the Major Arena Soccer League, Frank Tayu, with the equalizer. The beauty of indoor soccer, folks. And to quote the great Yogi Berra is, it's not over till it's over, and it's certainly not over here with 6 goals apiece and 3:29 remaining.
The last minute in this game has just been bonkers. And Chihuahua back to work, driving it into Milwaukee's side of the field. Correa gets it out to Steinwasser. Javi Steinwasser moving to his right. Boop down on the ground, and a foul called on Papa Hernandez.
Hernandez was not happy whatsoever, as he just thought that that was incidental contact, a bounce off. We said it a couple of times. Back when both teams played on January 28th, the result was Savage 7-6. Well, 7's going to have to happen for somebody to win this game. The question's going to be, who's it going to be? The Wave? Will it be the Savage?
I don't know. Stick around.
Who will be the hero?
Somebody's going to have to pop into that phone booth and don that Superman cape. And right now, with the way the momentum is going, it's still unclear because we've had goals from each side in very quick successions. But the several of the most incredible scores that the league has had throughout the season in history. Frank Tayu just scored. Jorge Rios scored. We had Ian Bennett a couple of goals. We had Hugo Puentes a couple of goals. I mean, this has been everything that you would want out of a semifinal matchup. We thought that it would be the flip of a coin deciding who's going to win this one, and I bought a coin, the chocolate one, when you and I went to the supermarket earlier. I'm so bummed I don't have it in my hand right now, but good gosh, good golly oh molly, this is fun. This is a lot of fun.
I don't think I have ever seen a minute of wild indoor soccer that we've just seen. A challenge denied to Milwaukee on a handball by Chihuahua. Seconds later, they score. And then just a moment later, Milwaukee levels. Let's talk about the next game. We could have another one just like this. Our second semifinal featuring the 2-seed San Diego Sockers and the number 3-seed Baltimore Blast is coming up next. That one will be over on CBS Sports Golazo. Craig Elston, Brian Farber standing by to bring you all the action here from Front Wave Arena. That'll be 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. I nailed it again.
Well, then I got to ask you, what time is it for our friends in Australia?
Don't.
What time is it for our friends in England?
I'm buffering on that one. Do not give me that question, Philly. Stop.
I had to. I'm glad you and I at least get to sit for that one because I don't know. I think my life expectancy would be on the line watching a Blast Sockers game for the right to go to the final.
There's some Wave fans. Here we go. Restart coming up to Milwaukee. Sanchez runs up on it. Drives that one just wide left. Driven back into the corner here looking for Tayu. Frank with one hand on the glass. Left hand on the opponent. Tayu had it poked away. It comes out. Here comes Chihuahua. It is Valle. Down the right side into the corner with two Wave players on his back. And a foul called against Chihuahua. Correction, that was Lopez down there in the corner. Mario Alvarez and Alex Sanchez back there helping out Willie B. Sanchez will widen out. Alvarez trying to play it to Tayu. Poked back to the Milwaukee side of the field. And the Wave are looking for something. Castaneda comes over, drives one in, blocked by Sanchez. Now Castaneda gets the ball back again. Castaneda going in. Ball loose out front. Looking for a handball. Chihuahua says handball. They throw the challenge flag out.
Immediately threw the challenge flag out. I took a quick glance over at the bench. Everybody was up in arms.
Will this one be more conclusive, Philly?
Oh, boy, I don't know. Oh,
Chihuahua's challenging a handball on the play.
Now, this one will be more consequential. This one perhaps occurred inside the box. Let's look. Look with us here. That one to me is inconclusive. If we slow it down just a little bit, Castaneda again. Off the boards. Oh, it did. You can see that. There. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Okay, listen, Rich. Hey, Rich Grady is with us now. Rich, give us your assessment.
So the player is playing the ball legally with his foot, and then it comes up and strikes his hand. So typically that is not considered a handling violation.
Rich Grady, one of the officials here up in the booth. Thank you, Rich, very much. So let's see.
After review, the call on the field stands.
Okay, call on the field stands. It is not a handball. Thank you, Rich Grady, for explaining that. That is so helpful. The score remains 6-all. And Elvis Osmanovic is explaining to the coaching staff of Chihuahua exactly what has happened in the box there. So
We're kind of blessed to have the R&R boys, the rock and roll boys, Rich and Ryan in the booth, giving us the 411, the info for those who don't know what 411 is. Might be dating myself with that reference. But we're going to have some 911 here with the way this is going. My heart is palpitating.
Let me tell you, the folks in the 414 are elated right now by that decision by the officials here, as it is no handball.
Important to note, no more flags. If there's going to be any kind of review, it's got to come from the officials.
Into the corner. CHIHUAHUA off the boards. And Hernandez comes away with it. What a contest we have had here this afternoon. Hernandez with a long heave that goes off the back of Puentes. Into the referee's crease. Castaneda is collapsed on by several Wave players. It comes out to Diaz. Over to Puentes. Here's Puentes moving to his right. He shoots! And Puentes just wide to the right. Puentes comes over trying to win the ball back. Escalante into Castaneda. Oh, but it comes to CHIHUAHUA. Frank CHIHUAHUA. He'll try to play it to a teammate. No, it's taken back by Castaneda. And Castaneda gets tripped up. And a whistle and a foul called against Milwaukee Wave. 1:29 to play. Tied at 6.
Gosh, is this going to end within the next 89 seconds, or are we going to overtime?
Diaz takes a rip. That one wide to the right. Max Ferdinand calmly sends it up the far touchline, held in by Escalante. It deflects off to Breno Oliveira. Oliveira takes a crack at it from long distance, and that one up into the netting. 1:11 to play in this one. Tied at 6. The winner moves on to the Ron Newman Cup final.
I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying by far the most exciting game that we've seen in the postseason thus far.
Boy, you know what? You would be a great television announcer because you are excellent at stating the obvious.
Maybe I'd be a pretty decent detective as well. Although my wife tells me I can't find my way around the kitchen.
Here's Javi Steinwasser moving to his left. Here comes Macias. Under a minute to play. Moving to his right, Rios shoots. Blocked by Milwaukee. Another shot by Puentes. Rejected by the Wave. Under a minute to play. Here comes Rios again. He shoots above the crossbar. Rebound comes off to Leal. Chihuahua in the final seconds here. 30 seconds to go. Milwaukee, 5 players behind the ball. Into the corner to Puentes. Now Rios. Back over to Puentes. On the left side of the field. Back to Rios. Runs up on that one. Blocked again by Mario Alvarez, who goes down hurting. Clock is running. 9 seconds to play. Alvarez back up on his feet but limping. Here comes Leal. 1 second left. And we are headed to overtime. Overtime in this semifinal between the top-seeded Savage and the number 5-seeded Milwaukee Wave. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we'll set up overtime. Tied at 6, the Ron Newman Cup playoffs presented by Verizon on MASL TV. Don't go anywhere.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.
Hey, we are back inside Front Wave Arena. We have more soccer, bonus soccer, overtime soccer in the semifinals between Milwaukee and Chihuahua. What a unbelievable game we have witnessed. We are moving into a golden goal situation, everybody. What that means is the next goal wins. Whoever scores the next goal will be headed to the Ron Newman Cup final. So don't go away. Wherever you're watching, stay right here.
7-6 in overtime is how the last meeting between these two turned out. Again, we said it once, we said it twice, third time's the charm. January 28th, 7-6, a game winner in overtime for the Savage by Javier Gallegos. Put the dub on the board for the Savage. This game could potentially end 7-6. 10 minutes to determine that. The foul counter resets at 4. But if you have the accumulation of it, you still, if you're at 4 fouls and you get 2, that's still your 6.
Gotcha. Here we go. 10 minutes on the clock. 10 minutes in overtime. Escalante. On over to Rios. To Puentes. Now back to Rios, who bangs it off the boards. Both teams cannot let down one bit here in overtime. Sanchez plays it long. It's kicked back in. Both teams have switched ends. Chihuahua is now attacking right to left. Foul called against Milwaukee. Here is Macias. That one went under the foot of Escalante. Romero picks it up. Over to Hernandez. Down to Puentes, and Puentes, handball.
That's something we don't need to go to the monitor for.
Yeah,
you and I
right.
saw that point-blank range. You and I in both of our corrective lenses. You just don't see mine.
Here's Correa. He is aiming for Carvalho. Correa then steps in and is taken down, but he takes the ball back from Diaz. Plays it back to Walls. Tony to his teammate, Alex Steinwasser. Steinwasser into the corner to Carvalho. Here's a shot by Javi Steinwasser, no good. And here comes the counter. Papa Hernandez down the left side, trying to cut it back. Wave scrambling back defensively. And it comes out to Javi Steinwasser.
What fabulous footwork there. I mean, I tripped standing just watching what Steinwasser did there.
It's like he was walking in the air and hit that one on the volley just wide. Tayu. You can hear the crowd, San Diego fans filtering in here, and they are rooting for Milwaukee. Here is Sanchez. Runs into 2 players from the Savage. Backs it out to the center circle. Over to Mario Alvarez. Alvarez up the far touchline to the King. The King, several soul rolls, had it stripped away by Papa Hernandez. The King got a piece of that one. And then that one taken by Ruiz, but then knocked away by Milwaukee and back to the last third. Leal. He has the ball, head up, dribbling forward. On up to Lopez. Lopez fell down. Asqueta got a piece of that one, pinballing around. Breno Oliveira back to the center circle. Diaz. Forward to Leal. Leal still moving forward, off the boards.
Willie B got a mitt on that one. And that's a handball against Chihuahua. 7:13 to play in overtime. Tied at 6. The winner moves on. Back into Wave territory. And then eventually up to Castaneda. Castaneda moving to his right. Leaves it for Diaz. Now Romero moving to his left, goes off the glass, and Willie B snares that one out of the air.
Oh, heads up
Whoa.
play. Quick reaction time by Willie B. That was a quick flick off of the wall.
Tayu, bump down to the ground, no foul. The King back up. Now a ball pinballing around. Who's going to come up with it? Steinwasser. He goes down. Steinwasser back up. Then he gets pushed down again. Correa is in there as well. Stuart Grable wants a piece. And now back out the other way. Here come the Savage. Here's Castaneda down the left side. Castaneda shoots! And Castaneda sends Chihuahua into the Ron Newman Cup final. A giant victory for El Estado Grande of Mexico. Chihuahua is California dreaming for a three-peat.
Oh, they're partying in Distrito Uno in Chihuahua, Mexico. What an unbelievable finish to this game. Castañeda, only 5 games played last season. Did get a ring, but not much playing time. He goes in on that run, on the counter, fires it in wide of Willie B, and Willie B did play a sensational game, but Castañeda with the exclamation point, bottom right corner where the dust mites dwell, and for the 3rd year in a row, the Chihuahua Savage head back to the Ron Newman Cup Finals, awaiting the winner of the next match between the Baltimore Blast and the San Diego Sockers.
Wow. What a game.
What a game indeed.
What a game. Credit Chihuahua and their ability to be resilient. And how gutted the Milwaukee Wave must feel right now. They have played so well. The King denied a crown once again. And the Wave will head back to Milwaukee. Let's go down to Amanda. She is with Castaneda, who scored the game winner. Amanda?
Castaneda, who had the game-winning goal. Talk to us a little bit about that moment leading up to that.
Pues es un momento muy grande, ¿verdad? Pues sabíamos que el juego iba a estar así y pues nosotros nos preparamos toda la temporada, la pretemporada, nos preparamos para esto y pues gracias a Dios se nos dio el resultado y pues por lo que viene, por la final.
Yeah, he says that, you know, they've been preparing so long for this moment. They were working so hard, and it was a hard-fought match at the end of the day, but the preparation and everything came together, and they were able to make it happen here tonight.
You guys are heading to your 3rd straight final in a row. How are you guys feeling about that matchup coming up, whenever that may be, and whoever it may be facing?
Sí, como dices, no sabemos quién nos toca en la final, ¿verdad? Pero pues nosotros estamos preparados. Pues, como te digo, nos preparamos toda la temporada y pues a esperar rival.
It doesn't matter exactly who is going to be the rival in the final. We're prepared, and that's what we're going to keep on doing, keep preparing, and we're going to go ahead and have a final down there.
All right, congratulations on the win tonight and making it to the finals.
Un mensaje al último.
Pues quiero mandarle un mensaje a toda la afición, ¿verdad? A toda la afición del Estado, de Chihuahua. Y pues un mensaje especial para mi familia, para mi madre que está en el cielo. Y pues gracias a Dios se nos dio.
Says thank you for everybody who came out, thank you for everybody who the support, and thank you for my mom who's looking up from all the heavens above, and thank you for everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, back to you guys.
All right, we'll take a break. Philly and I will come back. We'll recap and also get you set for our next game in the semifinals of the Ron Newman Cup Finals. Pedro Castaneda, in his second year, wins it for Chihuahua. Let's take a break. The Ron Newman Cup presented by Verizon.
Indoor soccer fans, it's time to unleash a giant leap for fandom. Introducing MASL Indoor Soccer Fantasy Football. Build your dream team, invite your friends, and create your own draft league, all for free. Draft and trade players and win bragging rights as your team dominates the league. With MASLI Football, you're not just a fan, you're part of the action. Go to MASLI Football to sign up, get started, and play.
What an incredible display of resiliency, talent, skill. This is what professional indoor soccer is all about. We've seen the best of the best here at Front Wave Arena as the Chihuahua Savage, the top seed, goes through into the Ron Newman Cup Finals, beating the Milwaukee Wave in overtime by a final score of 7-6. Philly, I'm not sure that I've ever been a part of a game like this before. This was one for the storybooks, and just an incredible way of displaying professional indoor soccer.
An exciting game between two exciting franchises. I mean, that was back-to-back, wall-to-wall, cover-to-cover, down to the wire. 7-6 is how it ends up. Pedro Castaneda had the game winner. Here's a young man who only played in 5 games last season. 1 goal, 1 assist. He comes into his second year in the MASL with 19 goals and 9 assists. He shares soccer along with a passion for boxing. He was a lightweight champion in 2023 and part of the Mexican national boxing team. He punches the game winner in this game in a hard-fought contest between both sides, but an unbelievable contest, and without question, the most exciting game of the postseason.
Hey, partner, let's relive some of the action that took place down there on the blue turf at Front Wave Arena. Let's go some of the highlights here as we check out the highlights, and we're going to start here with a goal by IB26. Milwaukee came out strong. Actually, Chihuahua jumped out to a 2-0 lead, but it was IB26 who helped his team get back into the game. And there's Hugo Puentes. Once again, these are second-half highlights where Hugo Puentes got a key goal in the second half. There's Jorge Rios scoring his lone goal, finally showing up. Jorge Rios.
I mean, the leading scorer in the history in this season finds his ticket in, but then Frank Tayu does as well. I mean, that's a heavyweight contest right there, and this is that game winner. The pass into Castaneda beats Willie B in that bottom corner, and that's all she wrote. 7-6, which matches the exact scoreline, which matches the same exact outcome as the January 28th game, the only time these two teams have met this season, and it was a heck of a contest. To all the Milwaukee Waves fans that are at the Doghouse Beer Garden, condolences and shout out to you all. Your team played an incredible season. Milwaukee had an incredible run. It's always unfortunate to see it end like that, but they battled and they fought to the end in an exciting contest.
Brother, it has been a great time being paired with you during this Ron Newman Cup playoffs. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you. We certainly hope you have enjoyed it. We've got another game of professional indoor action straight ahead as the number 2 seed San Diego Sockers are going to take on the number 3 seed Baltimore Blast. We're going to have a 5:45 Pacific time kickoff coming up here from Front Wave Arena. We've got Craig Elston and Brian Farber on the call. CBS Sports Galazo. You won't want to miss it. For our Emota crew here at Front Wave Arena, thank you all so much for your terrific work. For my broadcast partner, Christian Philemon. For Amanda Philemon, my name is Nick Vassos. Thank you so much for watching the Major Arena Soccer League right here on MASL TV. Good night, everybody.